And hello, Croeso, Shemai. Happy Monday to you all. We are back on the Talking City podcast. And this time, I'm not with Joe Bray or with floating head David Tennant. I'm with Simon Bajkowski. Hello, Simon.
Hi, Luke. You okay?
Yeah, very good. Thanks. Very, very good. So, yeah, big weekend of sport. Obviously, there was a much improved performance in attack. We saw some kind of real intent and real character within the team, real togetherness. It was a loss, unfortunately. But yeah, they did show a bit of heart and spirit. And of course, I'm talking about the Welsh rugby team with their new coach. A loss has never felt more like a victory in my life. But yeah, enough about Wales losses because we've had 15 of them in a row. Yeah, Man City lost against Liverpool 2-0. I didn't expect it. I thought it'd either be a draw or I thought Liverpool might pip it 2-1. I didn't expect a resounding 2-0 loss. So yeah, I think let's just have a chat. Let's break down the match. What did you think? First of all, were you there?
Yeah. It was kind of just like, disappointing reality of the season, really. You kind of thought they had a chance of winning the game as soon as the team news came out and Haaland wasn't in the squad. You sort of thought the chance was greatly diminished, and then they started playing and you thought, oh, they're playing quite well here, and then it was same old story, defensive mistakes, too easy for the opponents to score. And yeah, you can say that they played quite well against Liverpool. I'm not sure that was a Liverpool playing to their best in the same way that I don't think Real Madrid had to get out of second gear, really. So, I mean, Pep took a lot of positives from it, or talks about a lot of positives, but it kind of felt like the second game in a week where basically been the equivalent of like an opposition team being an adult just putting the palm against a toddler's forehead, just keeping them at bay, saying, no, don't do anything. Like City had loads of the ball. Jeremy Doku had more dribbles past Alexander-Arnold than any player has had ever, but it just didn't amount to anything. So not a great day for City.
No, I keep finding it really weird as everyone keeps that, oh, well, we didn't expect us to win against Real Madrid, didn't expect us to win against City. They are City. Didn't expect us to win against Liverpool. It's a bit of a write-off. But it's that you won the treble. Like why is it okay to write it off all of a sudden? If you've gone from winning a treble one season and this time it's fine to write off any other losses. That's fine. I find it so bizarre.
I'm not sure it's fine. It's just the reality. Like, if you're saying, do you think they're going to win this game? No, I don't, because they've been playing, they are a shadow of the team that won the treble, or a shadow of the team that won for the 4 consecutive Premier League titles. So they're trying to get back there, and I think we saw, a decent performance from Kusanov again. Marmoush has brought energy, but it's just, you look at that team and you think, will they win against a good side? No, because they've got too many problems.
I like Marmoush just because I like saying his name. I like really saying his name. But yeah, at 20 points off now, Liverpool I think there's only 5 points between them and Fulham, realistically, isn't there? I think Fulham it's around about that. I think from what I last checked, it's like that's not. Oh yeah, they're 5 points off Fulham, we're 10th. And 20 points off top. That's. Yeah, where do you think this season's just? I know they've had loads of issues. I know we've got like Kyle Walker going out, injuries to Haaland, but I don't think anyone at the start of the season would have expected this from City. I know I'm writing that as all doom and gloom. They're still in Champions League spot, so.
Yeah, and it would be an absolute disaster if they didn't get a Champions League spot, and I don't think anyone thinks they won't. But you're right, nobody thought they would be in this position at the start of the season. Nobody thought they'd be in this position at the start of November when they were top of the league. But it's just been a perfect storm of a lot of issues all coming together at the same time. And torpedoing the season. And there have been signs in the last month of kind of improvement and that they're on their way out. But I think this last week has shown that they are nowhere near the level that they need to be at if they want to compete in England and Europe. And that we knew before yesterday they weren't going to win the title. What we didn't know was, are they good enough to stop Liverpool beating them at the Etihad for the first time in a decade? And the answer was a definitive no. No, they're not. Not only has it been a tough season, it's been an embarrassing season because Liverpool have beaten them at home, United have beaten them at home. They went more than 2 years without losing at the Etihad, and now they've lost 4 games in 2 months. It's really tough for them, and they've got a couple of few more fixtures, but then the rest of the running, you would look at and think there is no way on earth that they shouldn't get a top 4 spot. And if they play well enough, there's no reason they can't still aim for second, because Arsenal have wobbled a bit. But the way the season has gone, I think they just have to kind of build for the future from now. Make sure they get a top 4 spot, and then go again in the summer transfer window.
Yes, I didn't expect this at all. I thought we'd have another City whitewash on everything, then going for the quadruple. But yeah, just completely didn't expect this at all. Like, mind-boggling to me. But yeah, let's talk about Salah's first goal. He always likes turning up every now and again, doesn't he? Bless him. So deflected off Nathan Ake, wrong-footed Ederson. How do you think the defence faltered in that situation for Salah's first goal?
I mean, it was just the whole team, really. City were in attack. Kevin De Bruyne loses the ball. Pep goes mad on the touchline. And I think the ball then crosses into the City half and doesn't come out for another 2 minutes until the ball's in the back of the net. Poor from Rico Lewis to get caught in possession and get kind of double teamed so they end up in the corner. And then it's just really poor from the corner. Like, we know that Mo Salah is quite good at football. We know that he will score goals if you give him the chance. So, and we also know that Liverpool have not been good at set piece goals. I think they were bottom of the no team had scored fewer goals from set pieces before yesterday, and yet Liverpool turn up with a set piece and score a goal. It's just far too easy for them. It's a goal that Liverpool will be delighted with because they've clearly worked on it and spotted something with City defending in that way, and they've scored. But if you're City, you've just got to be absolutely distraught that you've conceded that kind of goal. And it also hurt twice as much because City had been the better team before that point and had been the ones that were looking more likely to score. So that goal was a real sucker punch that just kind of emphasised how hard City have to work to try and score, and how their opponents don't need to work hard at all to put the ball in their net.
Yeah, fair. I got nothing to add to that. Fair enough. Talking about Liverpool's second goal as well. I've been trying to say his name the entire time, but every time I try, a piece of furniture levitates across the room somewhere. Subbles. Yeah, Subbles. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation. Sabozlai. There we go. I went far off. Nothing has moved. Assist by Salah. Edge of box. Just left Ederson with very little chance there. Again, defensively. What went wrong for us there again?
It was just it's too simple. Like a simple ball over the top, into the space behind Guardiola and Ake, and it's just really, really easy. Liverpool are a good team. They're going to win the Premier League, but it was no easier for them than it was for United or Tottenham or anyone else. And that's the worrying thing, I think, for City is sort of over so many months now. they're just far too easy to play against. And it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get good chances to score. Like it was Liverpool yesterday, it'll be Plymouth Argyle next week, and Plymouth will fancy the chances because you really don't need to, have the best players in the world anymore to trouble City. And you think back to sort of the real box office games between City and Liverpool over the years, and this did not come close to it because City just aren't anywhere near that level anymore, and that meant that Liverpool didn't have to be.
Also, massive shout out to Plymouth for drawing with Cardiff 1-1 and keeping them above relegation. So thanks for that. Another City in blue. What are you saying? It's just So, what do you think the key issues are in the defensive back line? Because there does seem to be something there that is some frailty. It's just something missing for me, and I can't quite put my finger on it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just fitness and form. I thought Kusnov played quite well. I didn't think anyone was terrible. It was one of those things like Rico Lewis was good, apart from messing up for the first goal that changed the nature of the game. So, it's just one of those unfortunate situations where nobody is really in form. Like Ruben Diaz was back against Real Madrid, messed up for the first goal, back on the bench against Liverpool. Guardiola plays and plays and plays. But Ake, what was kind of called off the bench against Madrid because he was needed to be, because Stones is out for 2 or 3 months and is back. And again, did all right. But it's just, they've lost that aura of kind of authority at the back because it's just too easy to get through them. I will say as well, it was a very attacking team picked by Pep. Foden and De Bruyne, Savinho and Doku. It asked a lot of Gonzalez to protect the defence, and it asked a lot of the wingers and those kind of number 8/number 10s to get back and defend as well. Kevin De Bruyne is not really at a point in his career where you want him to be hurtling back defending, because he struggles to do it. So it was a very attacking team, and it didn't pay off.
So Liverpool's midfield just seemed to control the tempo of the game completely. How do you think their setup outmaneuvered us? Our the City team been very fortunate.
I think they outmaneuvered them by realising how little threat City offered. I think they sort of thought, we don't need the ball as long as we defend well. And I think it was the lowest amount of possession Liverpool have had under Slot or something like that. It was like 34%, very little. Like the game started and Doku rinses Alexander-Arnold and you think, oh, hello. And then he rinses him again and you think, wow. And Doku kept rinsing Alexander-Arnold, but absolutely nothing ever came from him rinsing Alexander-Arnold. So it's like, at some point, Liverpool were like, well, it doesn't matter that our right back keeps getting shredded because it's not causing any threat to our goal. And, I think City had a better expected goals than Liverpool, but, I think they had 16 shots and none of them tested Alisson at all. All such like a low chance of scoring, all kind of like pot shots from outside the box or anything like that. So Liverpool, especially in the second half, they just sat in. They sat so deep, it was as if they had 10 men, but they just sat there and said to City, what have you got? And the answer was not a lot. So that was all kind of Liverpool needed to do.
Yeah, so moving on to attack as well. So obviously Erling Haaland is still out, hasn't played in a short while now. Any update on the situation there with him?
Well, I mean, they hope he'll be back for Tottenham on Wednesday, but it is just a situation where he feels pain, and he's not felt pain all season, and he's played every game. And they have to listen to him. Like, it would be stupid for him to say, I don't feel right, and them to say, tough, you're playing. Like, there's simply no point. They're going to get top 4 anyway. Like, he probably doesn't need to play for the rest of the season if it's not right. But I think, what we have seen over the last week is all the people who are like, oh, would City be a better team without Haaland? The answer is no, because they don't have any goal threat. So I think it's been a week of education for a lot of reasons, and it has just kind of brought home how important Haaland is to the team, because they've really struggled without him, and they will struggle next week at Tottenham if they don't have him. He's been training okay, he's been doing a lot of good things, but he still just doesn't quite feel right. So until he reaches that point, they're not going to risk him.
No, that's fair. I thought Pep's comments as well were quite odd on Friday. I think Joe went to the presser when he was saying City ready for a clear out and concerned about the injury-prone side. And obviously you've got De Bruyne who's injured, Walters Stones is injured, Haaland's injured. I thought Pep's comments about the injury thing was a bit out of place, I think. But I don't know. I just saw it online and read it, so.
It's just I think it's the reality of the situation. Like, everyone talks about this great City team, and oh my God, how are this great City team where they are? Like, why aren't they winning the league? And it's like, well, who's part of this great City team? Kyle Walker, right? Well, he's been rubbish all season and so bad he's been loaned to AC Milan. John Stones, right? Well, he's injured. Akanji, right? He's injured. Okay, he's been injured. Diaz, he's been injured. And it's like, for so long, you'd be like, oh, he's a really good player. He's just injured at the minute. And it gets to a point where you're like, right, well, if you're injured, you're not doing your job. Like, I don't want to call John Stones out, but City paid John Stones wages, and City have paid John Stones wages throughout. Since the end of May, John Stones has only played one more game for City than he has for England. Like, it's mad that he's been so available for England, and yet he plays one game for City or 2 games for City and he breaks down. And it gets to a point where if you keep breaking down and you're not available to play, are you worth the wages that we're paying you? Because this season has shown more than ever that you need, one of the best qualities you can have as a player under Guardiola is to be able to play 2 games a week. And too many players in the current squad are not able to do that. So if they're not able to do that, they've got to be moved on. And, it's been unsaid for a while, but on Friday, Pep just, finally said what has been the case, in that, if you can't stay fit, you can't stay at the club. So, over the next 3 months, City are only going to have 1 game a week because they're out of the Champions League. And they've not much to play for. So there is a chance for everyone to show their fitness, to recover during long weeks, and to say, yeah, actually, this season's been really bad. But that was then, and this is now. I am able to play. I am able to still be a part of your plans. Please keep me here next season. But, you can't, however good people have been in the past, or however good people are when they're not injured, if they're injured more than they're fit, like, you just can't keep them.
No, that's fair. To be honest, it sounds like both Manchester teams are going through the same thing with injured players. Sorry to bring up the other side, but it's just echo chamber right now. It's like going crossing over. But let's go back for the season. The implications for the season, as talked about earlier, it's 20 points behind Liverpool in 4th, 5 points off Fulham, who are 10th. I think they're quite in a precarious position. You did mention that they have midweek games now. They could just focus on getting fitness, getting back up to speed. I was going to say steam then. I don't know. I've got Thomas the Tank in my head for some reason. So really funny, really weird TikTok earlier. So how critical is it now to score maximum points as possible to make sure they secure top 4 and Champions League for next season.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing they have to do this season, and it would be a sign that the crisis is worse than everyone thinks if they don't get a top four, because like I say, there's no reason for them not to. They're already in the top four. You know, they didn't have to play this weekend and everyone around them played and they were still in the top four. Second place lost, third place lost. You know, a lot of teams around them lost. So it's not that hard to get top four. So they need to get top four. And, you know, if they're not able to get top four with the fixture list they've got and with sort of the schedule, the kind of schedule that they will now have, I think it will say that sort of even more players than you thought have to be moved on, because they're not able to, you know, perform at the level that's needed, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Forest giving them a good run, to be honest, on current form. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's really, really strange one. I think with key players as well, sidelined, like Haaland, all the first team, my nan. I think, how is team morale affected? And what do you think? What adjustments do you think Guardiola has to implement now to navigate this quite challenging period? To be honest, it's probably one of the most challenging periods he's had since he's taken over City. I think so.
Yeah, I think it's the most challenging in his career, and like nobody knows what to do because nobody's been in this situation before. You know, you've got a squad full of people who just win and win and win. Like Nathan Ake and Ruben Diaz signed for the club in 2020. They've never not won the Premier League. That's sort of what we're talking about, and like it's really difficult, and it's been going on for 4 months, and still nobody knows what to do. I think the new signings will help, and like I say, the long weeks and everything should help, but at the minute they've still got to accept that they're not good enough to compete against good teams, and they need to work their way back to that point. But it is going to be hard because confidence has been drained, and you think back to the start of the season and like Rico Lewis bossing it for City, bossing it for England, looked like such a prospect, and he has just kind of disappeared over the last few months because he was asked to do too much, and then he's just playing with his confidence on the floor. So it's really hard, and it's going to be hard for everyone to pick themselves back up, and they can only get there kind of incrementally, with every sort of minor win and every day and week they go through without another setback.
So speaking of good teams, Tottenham, Man City, Tottenham, midweek game. Big Ange is welcoming them to the stadium. Yeah, it's quite a pivotal match. Obviously, it's really weird historically. Normally, it's been quite tight. I think it's according to my research here, because I do research these things. Believe it or not, I do waffle on, but I do some prep. I think it's 57 matches. Tottenham's 127. City's 22 victories, and there's been 8 draws. You know, this is both teams having really weird season. Big Ange always said he normally gets trophies in the second season. It's not turning out as well as he hoped. He's currently sat in 12th. City are not far off. I think the two teams that should be doing, I say should be doing a lot better. City are still top 4. We talk about it like they're mid-table. They still are top 4. But they should be doing, like, historically, both teams should be doing better. So, on recent form, where do you see this one going? You said you expect Haaland back, hopefully, if he's fit.
Yeah. I think, City's chances hinge on Haaland, I think. It's not a stadium that they enjoy going to. Haaland is, I think, Haaland's one of only 2 players to have scored at that stadium for City. So it really hasn't been good. And Tottenham are coming back into a bit of form after a very ropey patch. And even when they were in a bad patch, they still came to the Etihad and won 4-0. So they're just a really weird bogey team for City. And Wednesday will be looked at as a game like Sunday was, where you're like, yes, City have a chance of winning it, but they've got a bigger chance of losing it because we can't be certain that kind of anywhere near the best version of City will turn up and win the game. And they will also be sort of, hurting, you would expect, from the home defeat to Liverpool. So it's going to be another tough one for them. And they kind of just have to sort of get through it. I think they would take a draw if you offered it to them now. But we're all hoping to see the positive shoots for next season that will come through. And there's a chance it happens at Spurs, but it will be above expectations, I think, if they come away with a win.
So say every man with two hands has a chance, isn't it? But considering the current squad and where it's at, just coming up with clips today. It's a Monday morning. I'm trying to lighten myself up. But considering the current squad, the amount of injuries, where their head is at, what tactical adjustments do you think Guardiola should make for the team, make for the game, and how can are you going to play more defensive instead of going all out attack like Liverpool? It's such a weird one that you're like, oh, I don't know where to go. I get you're away from home as well, so it's like, what do you think they should do tactically?
I think they should probably go similar to the Liverpool game, in that Spurs are a team who will leave a lot of space in behind at the back and give them the opportunities to sort of counter quickly, and they have got the players for that. It's sort of whether De Bruyne is able to play 2 games in a few days and whether he can, improve on his level from the weekend, because again, he wasn't great, and also Foden, those issues haven't gone away. But I think they need to kind of utilize their pace and try and sort of be as direct as possible, really, which is not always the way you associate with Pep, but I think kind of needs must in this situation. And with the way Tottenham play, you kind of need that pace on the counter to be able to punish them quickly, because they do leave gaps for you that you can exploit if you're quick enough. And so did Liverpool to an extent, but City weren't as quick as they needed to be on Sunday.
Yeah, fair. Again, nothing I can add to that. I was like fully in agreement. So finally, now I'm going to draw it. Nice brief one on a Monday morning. Nice one. It's not a nice one. The loss is never nice, but you know what I mean. Scores on the door. I did it with Joe on Friday, and he hated me for it. Scores on the doors for Tottenham City. Wait, what do you think the score will be? Let's have a nice little. Let's look into the mystic ball of Simon Bajkowski's magic 8 ball. How do you see this game going? And a score prediction. I want a number.
Yeah, maybe 2-2. I think City will sort of have more attacking threat than they did have. I just think it's hard to see them stop conceding goals, and I think Tottenham are a bit more up for this game and will fancy a bit of a scalp. So I do think City will score more than one, but I just find it hard to back them to win too many games these days.
Fair. I'm going to say 2-1 to City, because if I keep saying it, one day I will be right and everyone will see me. So that's anytime anyone will ask me, I'll always say 2-1 City, no matter what. And that's all for today. A nice brief one on a Monday morning, just breaking down the game on Sunday and looking forward to Tottenham and City midweek. Again, thank you for listening. I have been with Simon Bajkowski. My name is Luke. So please do give us a like, follow, share, no matter what you're listening on. If you're on vinyl, radio, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, like a comment, please tell everyone. We'll be back on. I think we'll be back on Friday. I think it's the last you're having of me for a while, potentially. So I bet there's one positive for the week for Man City fans. Thank you again, Simon. Thank you for doing this so early as well. It's currently just finished at 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, so we're doing it nice and early. So again, thank you for your time, Simon.
No problem.
And we will be seeing you Friday. And good luck, and well done to Ireland as well for winning the Triple Crown. Well done. Thanks for that. 15 losses for Wales. Cheers. See you soon.